How's it going, everybody? Welcome to New Hope Enlightenment of Palm Beach. We thank you for joining us today. I hope you all had an awesome week and an awesome weekend. I hope it was filled with God's love and some prosperity, a little bit of joy, maybe something awesome happened. If it didn't, then I hope it does for you, and I hope it happens maybe this weekend, maybe this coming week. Who knows? It's going to be good, and I hope that you guys are excited. I hope you had a great week already. Today I want to talk a little bit about forgiveness, and a lot of times I'll come up here and not have anything really written out, but I'll have a game plan and the points that I want to hit. But today I wanted to make sure that I had it written out and I could articulate how important it is to forgive other people. Look back in your life right now and think of all the memories and the events in your life that you cannot forgive and the people in them that you cannot forgive, and really consider why you're holding on to these things, what you can do to make it better, and how you can kind of improve your life through forgiveness, because it's a big integral part of who we are and who we are as beings and spiritual beings. We have to forgive so many times. It could be over a simple misunderstanding, and that happens all the time. And it could just be an emotional reaction that we had to an event that we thought was a big deal and someone else thought it was nothing. And then we kind of, I don't want to use the word hate, but we kind of hate that person now because it's like you don't even realize what you did and you were in the wrong. When that doesn't seem very good either. It's so important to forgive. Let's rock it out, guys. And thank you so much for joining me today. Like I said, how many people in your life do you still have to forgive? And why do we find it so difficult to forgive them? Well, it's because they hurt us, right? It's someone who hurt us in the past, and that's one of those things that we have to deal with. And dealing with pain is not always easy. It's tough, right? Tribulations are not fun for anyone. They're not loving it, but it's just the one we have to go through. But it's so important not to say through, oh, you affected my life in this way and now you're forgiven. Or, hey, man, you're forgiven. Oh, Timmy messed up and you're forgiven. Oh, this time you are forgiven. And not mean it. Because those are just words, and just words are just without meaning. They don't mean anything, right? You have to have the belief behind it and the knowledge of what happened, how the event played out, what exactly happened, and why you're still holding on to it. And I know there's that one memory that each of us have. I would love for you to share it with me in the comments down below. What that one event was that you just cannot forgive. And it can be difficult, I know. It's not always easy. Forgiveness is tough, but it's what helps us grow spiritually and become better beings, And that's so important to who we are. It's integral to human beings. We're spiritual beings on this planet. We have to forgive people. But it's important not to hold on to the grudges, because the grudges are little anchors to negative past moments, and they're going to bring you back there every single time. If you look back and you think about it, oh, hey, this happened to me, or someone pushed me off my bike, or, someone, I don't know, knocked my ice cream out of my hand, you know what I mean? And you hold on to that moment. A year later, you could be contemplating that moment and be like, wow, I still don't like that dude. You knocked that ice cream out of my hand. That was my favorite flavor, and I was going to enjoy it. Mint chip. That's mine. But I was going to love that. And they knocked it right out of my hand, and now I'm going to hold on to that. And you could be a year later, and you could still be angry about it. You'll sit there and think, man, what a not cool person. That wasn't cool at all. And that was wrong. And you get upset about it. All these grudges you hold on to only hurts you in the end. And it's those negative anchors to points in your past, and it'll keep bringing you back there. Do you want to have a point in your past you always have to go back to? It's, oh, here you are again. Oh, here you are again. Why do you keep reliving the same moment? The same moment you were already mad about. You were already upset. You've already gone through it. There has been time, and you have not let it go, and you have to be the one that lets it go. You can't let the person who affected you, be the one who starts the healing process of forgiveness. No, it has to be you. It has to start with you. That's how it works, and that's how you grow as a person. And it's a staple of life for us to forgive. That's who we are. So forgive, and I'm gonna help. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you there. I'm gonna get you guys there. With God and Jesus, He can take the load for you. He can. So I'm gonna get you guys there. So how do we begin the process of forgiveness, right? Now this is a tough question we have to ask ourselves, and a lot of contemplative prayer can go into this and really help yourself grow as a person, because it's gonna be tough. It's a bumpy road to forgiveness. But don't wait for the person who wronged you to learn their lesson. Right? That's very important. I'm going to get back to that. But Jesus didn't wait for us to see all the wrongs we were doing, before He forgave us and before He sacrificed Himself so we could be free of those sins, because He just assumed, well, we're not going to get it right now, so I'm going to forgive you anyway. You are forgiven. Now is the time. And it wasn't once we figured it out and we were like, oh, well, now we'll repent for the things we've done, or now we'll feel bad for what we've done. No, it was before that happened. That's why it was such a gift. And that's how we can forgive as well. Do it before the person who hurt you even realized that they should come around and maybe contemplate that action that they already had and rethink it. Just don't just wait for them to be like, oh, well, hey, man, I really wanted to say I'm sorry. I mean, that's nice. That's awesome. That's growth right there for them, for you, for everyone, right? That's spiritual growth. That growth, that is awesome. But you have to be careful not to, I'm going to hold on to this until they say they're sorry, because I'm not going to forgive them no matter what, because they affected me and my life, and for that, no go. So don't wait for them to start the healing process. You let it start with you. I'm not saying forget what happened. I'm saying forgive what happened. Maybe look at it from their shoes, what happened with them, maybe why the event played out, but really break it down. But we're going to get there. We're getting there as we go along. So now we must learn to also forgive those who don't seem remorseful at all. And that's tough. Like I said, forgiving someone who doesn't really seem to care what they've done can be a tough thing for you. It's a tough thing for me. It's a tough thing for everybody. It's tough. It's tough to forgive when no one seems to care that they hurt you, right? But remember that all the wrong they did to you, they did to the physical self, who you are right now, and it's the ego. They didn't attack the spiritual being of God, right? Because the God is within you, and they didn't attack the God within you or the spiritual being that you are. They were attacking the physical self, the emotions that have, guided you through life from when you were a baby till now, the experiences and the memories and all the emotions that have created who you are now is who they attacked. And whatever they did, they didn't attack you spiritually. They didn't come after the Holy Ghost inside you. They attacked you based on what you've become by not facing emotions and experiences that have affected you, that have guided you into situations that you are in now. It's one of those things that can happen so easily. Even with, depression or anything like that, it happens so easily. You have to be careful not to be guided and led by emotions, right? And this is so important. Romans 8:6. The mind governed by the flesh is death, but the mind governed by the Spirit is life and peace. That's what I'm talking about. They attacked the flesh, but they didn't attack you spiritually. Like who you actually are at your deepest core level, and that's the thing. That's the spiritual side of you. That's the divine being inside of you, because the Holy Ghost is in you. And it's so important to remember that. You can't forget these things. I know it can be tough, but they didn't attack that. They attacked who you have become through the experiences that you've had through life. And if you can take a third-party perspective, take a step back, look at it from a different angle, take out all the investments and the emotional investments you have in it, you'll be able to see it a little clearer. Like if you just take out all the emotions you have and just really think about it, and if someone was telling you the story, if I was telling you the story of the event that you're mad about, and I was like, hey man, some dude slapped the ice cream out of my hand. That was my favorite mint chip. What's up? Well, that was my computer turning off, by the way. But it's like, well, that's an important thing to think about, because why are you upset about that, bro? It's ice cream. Did you just get another one? Or did you just let the ice cream go? It was ice cream. Was it that important to you in life? No, it was ice cream. But that little event can have such a big effect on who we are as beings. We have to be careful with these things. And that's the thing. It's the false self that is the flesh, right? So that is the hate, the anger, the ego, the fear. These are all emotional responses that we've learned. We weren't born into these traits. We weren't born full of hate. We were born full of love and compassion and the ability to share. That's what we were born with. We weren't born with fear and hate and ego. That wasn't what we were born with. Those are responses we've gained as we've grown and we've become cold. We have to stay warm. We have to stay close to the Spirit and be happy beings. We can't be hardened individuals all the time. You can't do it. It's not a way to live your life. So, they were accumulated through a lifetime of struggle and pain. This is what I'm talking about. Feelings of abandonment, of which we perceive as betrayals. We hold on to these negative emotions for so long they eventually shape us into who we are. We have to remember this. All these negative anchors that we have, all these things that we haven't forgiven are shaping and guiding us every day to the future. Someone you won't trust because, oh, this is a very similar situation to something I've had in my past, and that turned sour. Or maybe you had this very similar event go on and something happened bad before, so now you're kind of like, well, do I really want to do this again? I know how this plays out. I've been there. I've seen it, and I don't trust now. You can't be that person. You have to forgive that situation. That was one time. You have to know that deep down, people are good. Inherently, there is goodness in all of us because God dwells in all of us, and we can share that together with everyone. But you can't just assume that the world's cold, dark, and evil all the time, because that's a world without love. And that is not the world we live in, even though I know sometimes it likes to be portrayed that way. That is not the world we live in. There is so much love and compassion deep down And we just have to share it a little more, right? Give it to each other freely. God gives us all his love free, and that is what is so important. So ask yourself, what can I do about this, right? I've been shaped by all these emotions. Joe, what can I do? Here I am. I'm being guided in life through all these negative turmoil emotions. How can I fix this? Well, we're going to help you out. We're going to try to get you there. So look at your life from a third-party perspective. We were just talking about that. If you take all the personal emotional investments into the situation in which you cannot forgive or let go of, and really disconnect from the event, you begin to see what is just a series of emotional responses that we let control our lives. So important. We can't just let, if you ever notice someone will say something, it just makes you mad for no reason, you're just like, hit you the wrong way. Like, why did that? That's an emotional response to something similar in your past, or a memory, or something you haven't forgiven, and now you've kind of grown this dislike towards it. So now every time you hear it, now you're going to be appalled by it, and eventually, in the end, if you keep this up and you keep letting this grow, you're going to be disgusted by it, and it's going to be such a deep-seated hatred for you. It's going to be so tough to uproot that. Uproot these little hates and these little unforgivenesses now. Get them now before it's too late, because later on it gets even more difficult to break free of these habits that we have that push us in a negative fashion. And it's so true. We can't let our lives be controlled. And this is tough. This is going to be a tough one. I know it, because it's tough for everyone, right? So for me, it's tough for everyone. Fear, pride, ego, and selfishness. We can't let our lives be run by this. It has to be run by spirit and love and peace and compassion, and that is how we're going to grow as spiritual and divine beings. That is how we're going to get there, and we can get there together. So they hurt us, and we will hold on to that hate and negativity for as long as we think it takes them to justify their actions, right, through whatever they may be. So you cannot wait for them. That's the most important thing. Don't wait for them to start it. Start the healing process with you. It has to start with you. I'm not telling you forgive. I'm not telling you forget. Excuse me. I misspoke. I'm not telling you forget. I'm telling you to forgive, not forget. That was a misspeak. Someone's gonna call me out on that. If you made it this far in the video, thank you. Maybe you won't call me out on it. But if you do, I'm not telling you to forget. Just forgive, guys. Just forgive, right? So look inside yourself and find forgiveness within yourself first. This is important. It's like the first step, right? So the first healing process starts with you. And you have to look inside yourself to find that sort of, what that trauma was, and you have to let it go. It has to start with you. You have to start rolling the ball uphill so you can eventually get to the top and let it go down the other side, and it's no longer your problem because you've let it go. So, Jesus forgave all of humanity's sins, so it's time to be more Christ-like. Today, right now, starting this second, rock it. Look at your life and see all the hurt and pain that holds you back from reaching your full potential. There is a lot. And there's a lot of things that will keep you from doing and experiencing all the things you may love and you don't even know you love them yet. So, take the false self, fear, and ego out of the situation and break down the event into small steps. Ponder over each individual step of the event that would happen. Take each little step, how it started, what happened right after it started, how you reacted, what happened after that. And take an examination of each step and really contemplate what happened, why it happened, and why you reacted that way, and why they reacted that way. You cannot control other people, but you can control how you respond to a situation. And if you weren't really proud of how you responded to that situation, you can forgive yourself. It's okay. We're only human, and we're trying to be more Christ-like every day, and we're gonna get there. But it's not instant. You're not just gonna boom, it happens. So you have to be careful, and you have to make sure that you're taking each step. And you break them down, individually, and you release each step as you forgive yourself and the other person in that event for each individual step. By going through each step, you can see how it all played out. And I didn't really need to say that, or they didn't really have to do that, but it got heated. Everyone got excited, and now there's something unforgivable. And here's where you are. You're watching this video trying to figure out why my life is being dictated by these past anchors. It's because you won't let them go. And, why can't I float forward freely on the boat? Because you're holding the anchor. And you have to let it go. And then you can grow. And then spiritually you'll grow. And then God's light will shine through you even brighter. And that's going to be a great day for you, because it's going to bring all sorts of goodness. You can share compassion, love, and overwhelming feeling of love coming from God. You can share that with other people. The positivity in your life. The abundance it will bring. The contentment. That is what we're looking for. And that's how you can get there. And it's so important because Isaiah 41:13, "For I am your Lord who takes hold of your right hand and says to you, do not fear, I will help you." Let Jesus help you release all this pain. He can take the load. He tells you can find rest in him. He tells you he can bear your load. You can find rest in Jesus, and all you have to do is sit down, pray, and let Jesus help you work your way. Don't ask him to take it away. Ask him to help you get through it. For the strength to get through breaking down each step and releasing each one. You're not taking it away, you're releasing it. Right? You are holding the chain and the anchor that is keeping your boat from floating to everything you deserve in this life, and you are the one who has to let it go so you can grow spiritually. That's how you're going to get there. So let go of the anchor and float. Go to great new things. You'll see amazing things in this life, and all you have to do is let go because you are holding yourself back. You are stopping yourself from growing, and that's such a great tragedy, right? The biggest enemy we have in life is ourselves, because we get in our false self gets in the way of who we truly are, and then it guides us to where it wants to go instead of where we want to go, right? The flesh and the body, the physical, will guide you wherever it wants, whatever it wants to do. If it wants to eat, you're going to eat. It wants a snack, you're going to snack, right? And that's how it is. But towards the end, if you can start letting your mind and your spirit work together instead of being just the body controlling the mind, let the mind and the spirit control the body. You can start to control these things. Let these things go. You don't have to react that way anymore. You can be free from all that. And that is so important. Sorry, I hit the little button there. So Jesus can help you release all this pain. That is so imperative. So what you want to start doing is witness the change as you let God's light flow through you by letting go of that anchor of all that negativity, and that, you are God's temple. It says so in the Bible. The Spirit of God lives in you. So it's time for you to take out the trash, clean out all this stuff you won't forgive, and God's light can shine even brighter, and you can be set free. And that is so important. So take each step. Look at yourself. Take each step. Break it down. Jesus is there to help you. Break down each one and release it as you're like, I didn't have to be like that. I forgive myself. That was, a bad way to handle that. Or I forgive them. They kind of messed up on this, and that's okay. Let it go. Don't wait for them to start it. It may never come. You don't know, right? I know we all wish it would, but it may never come. So you have to be patient. Look at yourself and find forgiveness in yourself. First, forgive each step of the situation, and you can grow from that. And that's how we become more spiritual beings. We get closer to God, and we can just feel better every single day, filled with His light, letting it shine through without all the trash and the muck and the negativity holding it back, trying to cover it up, or by shutting it off and just listening to the false self. You are not the false self. You are so much more than that. And I believe in you so much. God believes in you. And I thank you for joining us today on this beautiful Sunday. I hope you all have an awesome day. Have a great rest of the week. We'll be doing videos on Facebook. We do Facebook Live. We do Instagram. We do all the cool hip stuff because we're trying to be cool and hip. You know how it is. So we'll have a link to the church down below. There's a donation button. You guys can donate if you'd like. We appreciate any and all donations. We are a new and growing church, so it really does help us. And we thank you so much for all the donations so far. You guys have been a blessing, truly. Wow. Thank you guys. And I just want you guys to know that every single day is a day we can do something great and we can grow together. And as a community and with New Hope Enlightenment Palm Beach, we're trying to bring everyone together and really change things and leave behind a legacy of love and happiness and leave the world better than we found it, and leave that behind as we go. So thank you all for joining us, guys. You have an awesome day. Have a great week. Thanks again. See you.